Welcome to the Palm Beach Boat Show. Today we are at the Seafox booth, and today we are going to be doing a comparison to figure out which kind of boat is right for you, a center console or a dual console. So over here we have the 26-foot Seafox Center Console, and then right across over here we have the 26-foot dual console, and we're going to be doing a direct comparison showing off the features of the center console versus the dual console. So as always with our boat reviews, we are going to be starting our way in the front and working our way to the back. Unfortunately, the Seafox booth here is underneath trees, and that's just what happens here at the Palm Beach Boat Show. So you're gonna have to excuse that it's a little bit dirty. It's not anything they can do about it here. But they don't have any of the cushions out, so you guys don't see that. They're all away in the cabin. But there would be a nice little U-shaped cushions over here, right in the front. You can take a look under here. We have some nice storage, some decent sized storage under there for anything you'd like. Right here we have a removable table, so this table will be able to just pick up, lift these up, take off the table, put it away if you don't need it. You get a little bit of extra walking room. And then right underneath the table we have another well under here, which they have a 5-gallon bucket currently in. You can see if you watch some of my other walkthrough videos, I've seen a lot of the other boats with this kind of feature in it. But you could put the 5-gallon bucket, you could throw anything you want in there, and it sits nice and steady right in there. Now up here in the bow, you're going to have your anchor locker up in the front. Which will open up over here. If you come a little bit closer, you can see we have our windlass right in here. And then off to the side, we have our controls for the windlass. That way you can control it right up here in the bow and not have to worry about controlling it back there by the helm station. Now Seafox is, the price of it is actually pretty surprising. I was shocked when I saw the price for a 26-foot center console here. I thought it was very reasonably priced. It is a mid-tier center console, so I know at the Miami Boat Show we just showed the most affordable center console. This one I consider more of a mid-tier. You're not going to be getting the highest price with the top amenities on this boat. It's going to be a little bit more affordable, but still overall a very great boat the way it's built. Right over here is a feature I love on this 26-foot center console, which is a big old storage hatch right underneath the forward-facing seat. You can see plenty of room if you want to throw some ice down in there, throw some fish, throw some sandwiches, or you just want to use it as dry storage for any life jackets, cushions, ropes, any of that kind of stuff. You can use that all for this hatch. And you can see, even though it doesn't have the cushion on it because they didn't want it getting dirty from all the trees, it has a nice curve to it, so that way it gives you the maximum comfort when you are sitting down in the seat. So right over here we have the backrest, which actually latches out of the side of the boat and will clip into place just like that, so somebody can come on over here and sit down forward facing and have a nice backrest. We'll be a little bit more comfortable with all the cushions here, but you get the point of it. And it is a very nice design. I don't think I've really seen this kind of design on other boats, this little latching system here, but you just basically push that back in and it'll fold right off to the side. I really like that from Seafox. So we have the front area of the center console over here, and just notice this hatch coming out of the top of the T-top, and I was trying to figure out what this was for, and it's actually a fire extinguisher holder. So the fire extinguisher goes in both ends, clips in with these little clips. Very innovative idea. Also inside the hatch over here, they have a little bungee thing over here, so if you want to put any other medical related items that you'd be keeping on a boat, I would probably put that all over here just out of the way, and I really didn't even notice this feature when I first walk around the boat, so it's a little nicely hidden away here, and I really like that. Now for a 26-foot boat, this cabin door is a little bit smaller than others I've seen, but we'll give this a quick open on up. I will show you guys what it looks like inside. Like I said, all the cushions are currently being stored in here, but this boat does have a head in it, so you can see the heads there underneath all the cushions. Looks like there is a decent amount of standing room in here. I'm 5'10" and I would probably be able to stand up in that cabin with my head like just grazing the top of it. So it is a decent sized cabin here, comparable to other boats this size. So now we're at the helm station of this 26-foot Seafox Center Console, and over here we have our two Simrad displays. Very conveniently have our buttons right in the center. We have a curved acrylic windshield right up here and a spot up here on the dashboard to put our phones, which you guys know is a huge pet peeve of mine, so I'm very glad they included that. Definitely passed my test on that. And then we have just our basic controls here, so we have our throttle, our wheel, our radio, everything like that, our trim tabs. Down here we have a little cuddy to throw wallets, keys, anything you want right up in there. Over here we have two captain's chairs here with foldable armrest, foldable cushions over here, and it looks like it'll slide forward and backwards here on the track, just like so. That way you can sit a little bit closer to the helm if you need to. So I just noticed above my head here on the T-top, there's actually a phone spot up here. So you can throw your phone right in there. It looks like it's compatible with wireless charging. So that's really cool to have on the boat. You have a hatch up top, along with more accessory buttons up here. This is probably a great spot here for the VHF radio. It's probably what it'd be used for. And you can throw any other papers. Maybe you want to put your registrations, insurance information, keep that nice and dry right up in here. And on the other side, we have another hatch, which could be used for the same kind of storage purposes. So over here in the floor, we have a fish well, and this is the port side of the boat. We have an identical one on the starboard side of the boat as well. Maybe we'll open this up. Oops. It's got a little bit of water in it right now, but it is a very nice long fish well. Fantastic for the wahoos, the kingfish, the dolphins, any of those long skinny fish you could throw right in here. Keep them nice and ice cold. Plenty of room having these hatches on the port and starboard side of the boat. While we're over here, we'll take a look at this beautiful, beautiful live well we have over here with a nice little window so you can see your baits, make sure they're all okay. And then we can hop up over here on top and open these up with a 3-latch system, which is very interesting, and a double seals gasket, which is very cool because a lot of times with live wells, when you fill them up all the way, the water will be coming up and it'll splash out and get everybody soaked. So I'm assuming with this 2-gasket system here and the 3 latches, it's really going to prevent you getting soaked from your live well. You can see this is a nice, very, very deep live well. Beautiful feature here on the 26-foot Seafox. So me and my dad just had an aha moment when we saw this little tiny hatch over here. So what could this actually be for? And pull it out, and it's actually your live well net. So a lot of times on boats, your live well net just kind of goes in the rod holder, takes up an extra spot, bouncing around, fly off the back of the boat. But here on the 26 Seafox, come on a little closer, we'll show off this hatch. They put a little, very convenient hatch just specifically for that live well net right next to your live well. Absolutely awesome feature. That's probably one of my favorite things on this boat so far. That's becoming pretty standard on boats these sizes and pretty much a lot of boats nowadays, but we have our tuna door or our scuba door, whatever you want to call it. We're not going to open it because there's another boat right here, but this will swing right open if you want to get off the boat onto a dock. Very convenient by just opening up the side door here. Now underneath the helm seats over here, we have a smaller Yeti cooler. No tackle station or anything over here on the 26-foot, which honestly was a little disappointing. It would have been nice to have some more tackle drawers or anything like that opportunities, but that's okay. We have our nice Yeti cooler underneath the seat over here. And over here in the stern of the boat, we have our forward-facing seating, which also has storage underneath it. So we are going to open up this hatch, which is quite big. We're going to open it right up, and this is going to be the battery storage along with some other pumps. Looking for the bilge area. I'm not seeing the bilge pumps right now. I'm not sure where you access that from because I figured that was actually going to be in here, but we do have our batteries nice and accessible over here. Very easy to replace them, which is very nice. That is nice and convenient. Now we have to find out where the bilge pumps are though. So over here in the rear of the boat, we actually could see there's going to be our bilge pump access, which is a little bit smaller than I was expecting on this boat. Reminds me a lot of our 26-foot center console. So I would have liked to seen a little bit bigger of a bilge pump access, but there it is right next to the motors. And we have a couple rod holders over here, which is nice. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a look at the T-top. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Facing in a little bit different directions. You can see this one's tilted back a little bit, and the 2 off on the sides are tilted out to the side. That way when you're trolling, you can get your lines out to the side and not tangle up with each other without having to use outriggers. This boat is powered by twin Yamaha 150s as well, so it's going to be cruising along very nicely and efficiently. So that wraps up the walkthrough here of the 26-foot Seafox Center Console, and now we are going to head directly across over there to check out their 26 dual console and let you guys know of the comparison of the two boats, the advantages, the disadvantages, and what is going to fit your style of boating. All right, so we are hopping down from the 26 Center Console, going over to the dual console now to show you guys this beautiful boat. So we are not going to change anything up, even though we're not doing a center console review. We're starting in the bow of the boat. And coming on over here, you can notice that it is a much bigger lounge area over here. You can fit more people. There are going to be bigger cushions that are over here, which is going to allow for more friends, more guests, more of a party atmosphere on this boat. You can see it got some storage on both sides as well, very similar to the storage that is on the 26 Center Console. Along with, you're going to have a bunch of cup holders. We got 2 cup holders on this side, 2 on this side, and if we actually come over here, I was curious about what this was. So these 2 latches up here in the front are going to hold poles that are going to stick straight out, and it's going to have a sunshade that is going to go back, connect to the T-top over there, which is going to allow for the maximum shade for your guests up here in the front. It's sitting right underneath me here. We're going to have our windlass. Yep, same thing as the 26-foot center console. We have a windlass with our controls over on the side. So one thing I do like that they have on this dual console compared to their center console is their table setup. So you can see it has a little bracket right over here. So I've seen this on, I think, one other boat, but this pipe is going to slide right in here and clip on. And that way you don't have your like old school traditional way of a table where it has a little base in the floor and everybody's stubbing their toe on it or anything. Nice, out of the way, put the bracket right in here, have your table, eat lunch, do whatever you want up here. So over here, actually separating the bow of the boat here and then the midship and stern, we have a little door, which we can open right over here. So that way, if you are on the boat with your family and your kids and everything like that, you can trap the kids up in the bow, have all the adults in the back, having fun, don't have to worry about the children up in the front, or the other way around. So we will keep moving our way back, trying to avoid any wet spots. But we have a in the ground storage, very big compartment over here. You can see they have some cushions in here right now. 5-gallon bucket storage right there, and just lots of storage room in the floor over here. We have our cabin, which says right here actually port side head. So you're not going to be able to see it because of all the cushions in there, but there is a head somewhere buried under here. But I can see the floor, and I can tell you, you are not going to be able to stand up in this cabin. Not going to be a ton of room to do a lot in there, but you do have a head, which is a great feature. So for your passengers here on the port side of the boat, you have a 4-position lounger seat, so you can move this backrest here and fold it all the way down. You use it as a lounger, you can slightly recline. This thing will move around. I'm just not going to move it for the video. But over here in the front for also your passengers, we have a nice little phone, wallet, keys holder, or anything like that. That way your stuff doesn't slide around. So the helm station over here, instead of having dual SIM rads, we have a single Garmin, and very basic helm station, very tight. We have our switches and stuff over here, our radio, and just very compact over here. We have a couple cup holders on the side over here, along with a little hatch to store whatever you'd like to in there. A captain's chair over here, just like the 26 with the foldable cushion and a wet sock. And underneath the captain's chair over here, we have a little bit of storage right over here. On the port side of the boat over here, right next to our lounger, we have some more storage. Looks like they have a first aid kit right in here, which is interesting because we actually have right above my head the same thing we had on the 26, the fire extinguisher holders, 2 of them with the bungee, the same exact hatch that was on the 26 center console over there. We'll close that up. I probably would have put that first aid over there. And then over here on the starboard side of the boat is where we get more of those party features in. So we have our sink over here, you can see right underneath. We have 2 cup holders over here, and in addition we also have a stove, so that way when you're at the sandbar, you could be grilling up some hot dogs and burgers right there. Something you can't do on the 26-foot center console unless you have a removable grill. And underneath the sink and stove over here, we have our cooler, which is on a track and pulls out. very nice feature, and I actually kind of wish they implemented this feature for the cooler on the 26-foot center console. That would have been something nice to see, make it a little bit easier to access that cooler. But that is nicely tucked away right over there. And if we also look up on the T-top, which by the way, we'll talk about the T-top in a bit, but it is much larger than a T-top on the center console. But right in this hatch, we'll open this up, and it looks like it's going to be storage, just like what I said on the center console over there, for your insurance, title, registration, VHF radio, any of that kind of stuff. In here, you can see the passenger side on the port side of the boat has a little wireless phone charger over there, and on the captain's side, we also have wireless phone charger. So great job, Seafox, having the phone holders over here, down here, along with the wireless charging phone holders up there. Another difference between the center console versus the dual console here is that over here you actually have glass windshields. So you can see this one will full right across is latched down right now. I'm not going to unlatch that, but we have glass windshields over here, which is very nice compared to the acrylic windshield that you get on the center console. And now let's talk about the T-top. So you can see maybe in the background over there, the center console, the T-top is very narrow, and that's the average size T-top for all center consoles. Now the dual console, you can see right above me, this T-top is the entire width and beam of the boat here. So there's a much larger shade area for all your guests. So you can see right in the middle of the T-top over here, we have a sunroof, which actually gives you a little bit of sunlight. It's filtered down by the tint on the sunshade over here, so that's not blaring sunlight, but you still get a little bit of light coming in. I don't know, it's just a sunroof in the T-top, that's all. So on the dual console, you have much smaller fish wells. So over here on the port side of the boat, we have a little bit bigger of a fish well than we do on the starboard side of the boat. You can see the one on the starboard side of the boat here is a little bit on the smaller side. So that is definitely going to be a downfall. If you are a fisherman, you're not going to have as much room to store those fish. Trying to avoid some of the puddles here today, because today is the very start of the first day of the boat show, and we don't want wet socks the entire day. So we are dancing around the boats over here today. And right over here, which I am very surprised to see, is we have the same huge full-size live well with the triple latch feature and everything like that, and the little window to see your baits on the dual console. Very surprised to see that they included this on a boat that's not as fishy. You guys have seen the wells and stuff are not that big to store your fish. So it's very interesting they kept the same size live well on this dual console. Great if you're a fisherman, but if you're a little bit more of a party person, I feel like maybe this space could have been better utilized for something that aligns more with the dual console features. So the stern of the boat is pretty much the same over here, where you have the forward-facing seating over here, and it folds up, and that has some access to your pumps and your batteries over there. And we actually have some rod holder cup holders, it looks like, in the back over here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this boat you actually have a tow tower, so you can do your tubing, skiing, anything you want, hook it right onto the tow tower over there. Now, one big difference here that makes this boat cost a little bit more is the power. This is powered by twin Yamaha 200s, when the center console over there only has 150s on the back. So you're gonna get a little bit more power on this boat. I'm sure that if you want to get 200s on that boat though, you can as well. Now the moment I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting for, it is time to look at the price of these two boats. So we're going to start with the dual console over here. So we have the MSRP is $245,000 for this 2023 26-foot dual console with twin Yamahas on the back, and the boat show price is going to be $200,000. And if we take a look over here at the 26-foot center console, the MSRP is going to be, let's see, doesn't say the MSRP on here, but you're getting a 2023 center console 26 foot for $150,000, which compared to a lot of prices of boats around here is actually a very fair price for this size boat. So now it's time to talk about the comparison, center console versus dual console. And it's going to totally come down to your type of boating. There's no set dual console is better than center console or vice versa. I can tell you personally, I am more of a fan of center consoles than dual consoles, but that's just my style of boating. Whenever I'm out on the water, there's always a fishing pole on that boat. I am always throwing the lures around, always trying to catch some fish, whether it is a dedicated sandbar day or if it is an all-out fishing day. That's just how I am on the water. Now, if you are are more of the person who's going to be going out with a lot of friends and more focused on heading to the sandbar days, and maybe you want to bring occasional pull, but it's really not important to you, you're just looking to have a good time, I would definitely consider that dual console. You have a lot of features like that sink, the stove, those kind of options where it just expands the opportunities out on the water that 26-foot Seafox Center Console cannot bring you. Grill up some hot dogs, hamburgers, have a good time with some friends, more shade to keep everybody happy. But you got to keep in mind that you are really not going to have much fishability other than that huge live well on that dual console. Not a lot of fish storage, not a lot of rod holders, but that's what you're sacrificing for a little bit more creature comforts like the stove, the sink, and that kind of stuff. So on the dual console, you're gonna have a little bit more comfort, some more cushions, maybe some more comfortable cushions as well. And you also have like that 4-position latching lounge seat on the port side of the boat there for your guests. So you're getting a little bit more of those kind of comforts. And you guys might have noticed the $50,000 price difference between the two. You have like a glass windshield on the dual console, and the stoves and sinks, all that kind of stuff adds up a little bit. But I can tell you a large chunk of that is going to come from the power. You have 400 horsepower on the dual console and 300 on the 26 center console there. I'm sure you can get some more power on the center console if you like, but that's probably going to make up a majority of the difference in price on those spec sheets. And that is going to wrap up today's comparison of center console versus dual console. Make sure you guys let me know down in the comments down below which kind of boat is right for you. Like I said, center consoles will always be the key to my heart. I absolutely love them, and that's why you see the majority of center consoles as walkthrough videos on my channel here. Speaking of walkthrough videos, if you guys did enjoy this one, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing down below. It really helps me out a lot. And if you did enjoy this walkthrough video, make sure you check out this one over here on the left side of the screen. It's gonna be another Palm Beach Boat Show walkthrough video. I think you guys are really gonna like that one as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until my next one, remember to keep living salty. Woo!